I read Bright Lights, Big City, written by McInerney and published in 1984. The main character is only known as you, because the novel is written in second person. You are a 24-year-old fact-checker at a magazine, though you dream of writing fiction. You live in New York City, but you are originally from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. And you have 3 brothers. You have a lot of trauma since your mother died a year ago, and your wife abandoned you a few months ago, and you've been resorting to drugs to get through. It's not the best nameless narrator I've ever read. First of all, I'm not a 24-year-old fact-checker with trauma. It works so much better at Breakfast at Tiffany's, where the narrator is an everyman and the cast around him is so colorful. This is kind of the opposite of that. The wife who abandoned you is named Amanda. She is a pretty girl, originally from Kansas. She came to live with you in New York, and she started modeling. And then you married her. Then a few months ago, she called from Paris to say that she was leaving. Your best friend is Ted Allagash. He is a partygoer who is careless and deceitful. Your magazine is edited by Clara Tillinghast, a stern woman. There are several little plots. The first plot is about your job. In Chapter 2, Clara gives you an assignment to fact-check an article about France. In Chapter 7, your errors get you fired, and you release a ferret in Clara's office. In Chapter 9, you have linguini with your coworker, and she listens sympathetically. A second plot is about your wife, Amanda. You remember your romance with her and her leaving. In Chapter 8, you go to a fashion show where she is a model. You call out her name and get thrown out. In the final Chapter 12, you meet Amanda and her fiancé. A third plot is your family. Your brother Michael keeps calling. In Chapter 10, he arrives at your door and you run away. But you do have a serious conversation with him. In Chapter 11, you remember caring for your mother as she died. This is related to a series of headlines you've read about a baby born to a woman in a coma. A fourth plot is your party life. You enjoy the company of Ted Allagash and take drugs. You get to know 2 girls named Elaine and Teresa, and Tad's cousin Vicky. The plot isn't really that linear. It's more like 4 little plots that you can dip in and out of, and I do like that. But they don't all really combine into a single exciting climax in any way. Even as I was reading the final chapter, I wasn't quite sure what the book was about. This book contains some striking prose. It seems like every 5 pages or so, you come across a zinger that you've never read before. It's often paired with Less Than Zero by Bret Easton Ellis, as they were both postmodern, transgressive drug novels of the early 80s. That connection is what inspired me to read this novel. But Less Than Zero is about 19-year-olds in LA, and this book is about mid-20-somethings in New York City. So I have to say I actually prefer the aesthetics of this novel a whole lot more than Less Than Zero. I give this novel a 7 out of 10.